Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everywhere, anywhere you are in the world. My name is Emmanuel Ngolefak, teacher and counselor, program coordinator at Open Dreams, a highly access proud member, and I am from Cameroon. Thank you so much. Let me leave it at that level.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Gonna leave it to Arsène also to introduce himself.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Emmanuel. Happy to be here. My name is Arsène Katawa. I am a high school counselor, and I'm running a community-based organization called EDULCOD-Togo, standing for Education, Leadership, and Community Development in Togo. So we support high-achieving low-income students to apply to different opportunities and scholarships to access higher education. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much, both Arsène and Emmanuel. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Sahara Sheikh. I am the program manager and college access counselor for Zawadi Africa. And essentially, we guide students during college application. And I'm very excited to be here because this is my first IC3 conference. So I'm excited to share on our topic, which is access and resources for low-income students. So to begin with, I just wanted to introduce the topic, which is access and resource for low students. Aside from money, for low-income students, one of the biggest hurdles faced by such students is the lack of access to resources, right? So despite there being many resources available out there, there's the lack of access and awareness in it. So access to us moves beyond the advising of students, touching on all aspects of the post-secondary experience, from being in your third year in high school to being in your finishing high school, graduating, and what are all those steps that is needed or required for our low-income students to have access to the best possible tertiary education. These accesses and resources are what we call or what we define as the cornerstone of development in young adults, and it cannot exist without access. So in order for us to understand how we can delve maybe into how best to tap into these resources available, how we must know then what are some of the barriers to college access and success. And I'll let Arsène discuss this a little bit. So some of the barriers to college access and success.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I would like to start by saying that one of the good news is that the Hali students are very outstanding students, but unfortunately they are facing a lot of barriers that are impeding them to access higher education. So the top one is affordability. There are a lot of things that our Hali students cannot afford. And the first thing is the tuition, the international tests like SAT, TOEFL test. And beside that, we can also mention the high cost of the application fees and the visa costs that they cannot afford. So talking about the tests that are often requested to them to take, there is a problem related to the lack of training and also the cost of these tests, as we mentioned it. So for a student to apply to a university and submit a TOEFL test or SAT test, they have to get prepared for this kind of test. And you can imagine, you can see that in our schools, the system is not including these kind of tests as a preparation for the student to be able to take these tests freely. So this is a very serious challenge for these high achieving low income students to be able to apply to universities easily. Besides that, we have the academic preparation in different schools and different countries, which is not taking into account the process of application to different universities. So the students are only focused on their academic activities, and there is a lack of leadership and extracurricular activities that are being taught in different schools, which is making the students a bit face a lot of challenges when it comes to apply to a university. Another challenge is also some misunderstanding related to the school system in our different countries, and also the assessment that the students have. So Very often it is complicated for someone who is not familiar with the system, the educational system, to understand the assessment itself and to understand also the progress of the students. The challenges that are also related to their application access, to their access to different universities, are also related to technology, because most of our Hali students do not have access to laptops, to internet, and which is making things very difficult. When they are already on campus, then they have also some challenges related to meals, healthcare, and housing, because they need some financial means, or they need money to be able to afford these things. So I would conclude by saying that even though our kids or the Hali students are very competitive and outstanding, they often face challenges related to all these things that we've said, and basically related to taking tests. And taking tests, we can also mention the fact that there are students who do not have test centers in their areas, and they have to travel long distances, missing classes, and they have also to pay for the accommodation to be able to stay for these kind of tests. So this is what I can say related to barriers to college access and success. So if my colleagues have something to add, they are also welcome.
Thank you so much, Arsène. I'm going to go ahead and just share the next slide just to cover the cost, just to show the first barrier which Arsène had discussed, which is the cost of education. You know, if most of our Hali students, high achieving low income students, apply to study abroad because of financial need. And, you know, if schools like in the US cost this much, whether it's private or public, UK, Canada, and Australia, even locally, some of the students are unable to join locally because of the expenses. And we just wanted to share that. So this is one of the biggest hurdles, but how do we tap into these available resources out there, like scholarship or housing and meal options, to ensure that it reaches our low-income students? And that's what we're going to discuss about in the next few slides. So I think the first one is awareness, which I'll let Emmanuel delve into.
Oh, thank you so much, Sahara, for the brief I've given already. And I want to use the opportunity to thank all the universities present here with us at Hyderabad and for supporting our students and others why. So the awareness we have, and we take a first step, which is beyond scholarship. We say the good thing is that many of the colleges in Europe, in America, in Canada, they offer full tuition to our students. But how many other students even are aware of the fact that these kind of opportunities are available to them? So that is where Hali Access now come in, you know, to take the information to the students who are in the urban area as well as they are in the suburbs or the rural areas. So part of beyond scholarship, we also say that there is an increase of what the resources available. So we, as the Hali Access organizations and association, we are doing the best we can in Africa to, you know, to carry these information or these informations to the students, because they don't even know they're existing. Because just imagine a child thinking about the fact that I want to study in the US, and their tuition and the cost of study is very expensive, and they don't have the information that scholarship are available. So Hali Access, we carry this information to them. And equally, we are equally saying that we supplement colleges, you know, on education with what? With life skills and employability skills, because students, you know, they are more focused on education and some other things that are important to like build them up and make them meet the need of the society lacking. So we supplement college on education for life skills, employability skills, and also technical and uplifting skills through some courses and for self-sufficiency. That is what early access is doing. And then we don't also let students focus only on the GPA, because when they focus on the GPA, they lose a lot of things. They lose a lot of things. Schools outside there need skills. These kids come in with skills. So we are doing the best we can at the access and our different organizations that we are helping students to meet up with everything that universities out there are doing. So I don't know, Sarah, if you have something to add on what you say.
Thank you so much for that. I think maybe just to add a little bit is to mention something that you've already did, is most of our Hali students are aware that maybe there are scholarships out there, but they're not aware that there are more than scholarships. Yeah, there are clubs or events that they can join when they're in college. Yeah, they can take leadership roles before they even join colleges. So creating that awareness that there's more to scholarship just creates that creates that information and knowledge for our Hali students. So the next one on how we can actually tap to available resources to ensure that our Hali students access it is to reevaluate how we do our outreach. How are we reaching out to students before they join college, right? So there's a need for a direct outreach efforts to overlooked student populations. We have students who live, like Arsène says, live in remote areas who do not have access to internet. How can college counselors, for example, reach out to them and inform them about this wonderful college or education opportunity that is out there for them? So there is a need for both the organizations, like Hali organizations, college counselors and admissions officers to look into better ways to reach these student population, especially if they're first generation, meaning their parents didn't have knowledge on college, or they didn't have the opportunity to advance their education. Secondly, on reevaluating outreach, how can counselors understand their students' academic background? So Arsène had mentioned that there are very many different backgrounds, and especially for African students, the emphasis is in academia. You know, if you look at, for example, I normally use Kenya because I'm in Kenya. Most of our top students are told to focus on academia rather than extracurricular activities. How do we ensure that when they are applying to college, it's presented in such a way that they are also a well-rounded student? It's that they do not have the opportunity to access this knowledge or information. So again, tapping onto reevaluating outreach, how do we address the language and cultural barriers? Some countries don't have English as their first language. How can they communicate with the admissions officers in a proper way to show that they have actually succeeded in their own capacity from their own high school, meeting college requirement standard? So there's just more on how to reevaluate outreach to ensure that it reaches the right population and in the right way.
Sarah, can I say something there? Just come back to the slide.
Yes.
Thank you. So one of the ways that we do is that, like in Cameroon, where I'm coming from, we do the best to send our alumni who have come from many other universities out of the country. We send them to these high schools and to talk to the students about these opportunities, and equally, you know, to become mentors to them, because we have understood that it is when these students have studied out of the country, their colleagues or your junior and best trust them. They are the best ambassadors to the schools they've studied abroad. So then when they come back to the community, they go to the schools in the suburb and they talk to their peers or to your junior ones about these opportunities. And at the end of it all, they become mentors to some of them. And before you know it, these kids now begin to go to your universities or other universities in that same country, that same region or beyond. So that's what I wanted to add, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I totally agree. So but my other point was also to add, there are many mentors who come back and mentor the students back back home, right? So someone who's gone abroad, studied, they're offering mentorship to some of the students in the same organization. What about the students who are not aware about our Hali organizations? Yeah, that's where I believe we still have a lack of access or a need for access for those types of students. Yeah. Arsène, did you have anything, or should I move on to the next one?
Yeah, you can move on.
Okay. So the next topic was tailored counseling and mentorship, and I'll let Emmanuel also take over on that one.
Okay, so thank you so much again, Sahara, for this opportunity. So one of the ways of the awareness we give to students is like we make them understand. And in this, we want to appreciate IC3 as well for the great work they're doing, because you discover IC3 is really taking counseling to every school, creating the awareness that counseling is as important as the mathematics and the chemistry. So so we say each student has the right to obtain guidance, and not only guidance, but a good one. Are we together? From a qualified counselor, because when a student meet a qualified and well-informed counselor, this student life will find a meaning, will find a purpose, and they will be well-oriented on how to move on from where they are to where they are supposed to be. Because you bear with me that the difference between you and your destiny is just an information. If you get a good information from an well-informed person, you discover that your life can really meaning. So one other way we do it as well, we said every counselor needs to be educated. It's not enough the fact that you've been to school, but you need to be educated and to gain the right knowledge and the right expertise so that you can inform the students rightly. Not everyone that have been to school can orientate or can coach or can mentor. So every counselor or every educator need the right information and the right expertise to do what? To give the best advice to their kids. And not only that, we say college should have what? Train. There's a train to that, or we should tell college that there are many students in Africa that don't even have where to sleep, what to eat. They don't even know, they don't even have a pen. Like someone was saying in the morning that if you go to the suburb areas, like here in India, you discover that there's some ladies that they use dry leaf when they are having your menstrual, flow. So they are really people that are of low income. So all the counselors, we are asked, to educate the colleges about this, and thanking them first for the ability to give financial aid, but equally asking them, pleading with them to stretch a little bit further to increase the aid that they give to these our low-income students, because these people, they are really potent, but now the possibilities. And when we meet people like you that are giving the aid, you discover community can be developed and become better because a child from that community got an admission to study in a school and a renowned school and a better education. So colleges that are present here, you will take it to your schools that we are thanking you for the fact that you give scholarship, but please, you can still stretch your hand a little bit further. If you were taking one kid, you can take two or more. And so we are also out, to let college that they can always give the mentorship, because normally they give us mentorship, but now we should not only do it for students, we should stretch as far as, from the middle school and through high school, because like I said, mentoring changes everything. If a child is being mentored from middle school, by the time they get to high school, they gain a lot of skills. You accept me and believe for me that most of our curricula are just academic based, but organizations that we are out, to impact students with skills. Like in my case, Open Dreams, where I am most passionate about, proud member of Harley Access. We have usually a 1 month, 5 weeks of summer academy where we recruit the best of the students and those who are out to impact the community, and will give the mentorship. But it is not enough. These are high school students. So we are saying that this mentorship should start from middle schools and even lower below, so that we take it through high schools, and before they get to the universities, they are good fit for your university. Sahara, I don't know if anything you want to add about the college retention program, please.
Yeah, I wanted to add something. Yeah, I wanted to add something related to what Emmanuel said, and he's right saying that we should start the program earlier, like in middle school, to have the students prepare themselves for the university application, and it is true. And we realize that in our communities, like in low-income background, students do not have access to some counselors or people who are aware of the university application in order to better guide them. And then there are also challenges, as I mentioned earlier, related to the fact that there are schools where the system is set in such a way that the students are always focusing on academic performance, as you mentioned it, forgetting the fact that we need more counselors in different schools. And it is at this point that I would like to thank the IC3 Institute for offering this wonderful program to teachers and counselors to better, thank you. You know,
yes,
to learn more about counseling in order to be able to nurture or work with high achieving low income students in their different countries. Thank you.
Okay, Sahara.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think you've done an amazing job explaining that part. Maybe to add on the college retention program, it still ties to, for me, this was specifically for college. Once the students have reached college, how can college ensure that the students remain in school performing well and still doing other activities in school and enjoying their college life? I believe some colleges do have small type of programs, but there should be a need for more, especially tailored to the low income and understanding the different backgrounds for the college retention program. Yeah. Should I move on to the next one?
Yes, go on.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we have our students, sorry.
Just click the next slide.
I'm not able to for some reason. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Beautiful.
Okay. So now that we have mentored our students, we have reached out to them, we have reevaluated our outreach, we have created awareness. Now our students have reached campus, hence now this next slide, which is affordable student housing and meal. So low-income students have no support from families. Majority of them depend on scholarship, and if they're lucky enough, on-campus jobs, right? They are struggling to make ends meet on college as it is. What they might not know is when they're in college is that there are many resources available for them. During summer breaks, majority of colleges do not offer on-campus housing. And the salary, maybe someone is earning from working on campus, and this is specifically for US and Canadian schools where you can work, is not enough to cover a summer housing plan. So how can college admissions officers ensure that there are resources for such type of situation, right? So I've listed some of the plans that are already there out there, like in terms of meal. So college food banks are available for some colleges. You can talk to an international student office person and they'll tell you that there are many foods available. But if they do not know already about this, where do they start, right? So there's that need to create awareness on those resources. And then some students have unused meal plans and they're going home for summer. Can they give that to the low-income students so that they can use it because they do not have other means to acquire food on campus? And in terms of summer on-campus housing, yes, colleges do close for summer for some of them. Can they have a program where maybe there is housing just for international students who can't afford tickets to go home or have no one or no family besides them to take care of them during the summer or the winter? So it's something that needs to be looked at aside from just the regular scholarship, yeah? And I don't know if Emmanuel or Arsène, you want to add anything into it before I jump to the next one?
I think that's fine.
Okay. Okay, so the last one, which is so go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. So the last one, which is on our slide, is emergency aid. So sorry. For emergency aid, the title itself is direct. You know, life happens, emergency occurs. And once a student has traveled abroad in some cases, or maybe they're even locally on some scholarship or some sponsorship, something can happen, you know, a health issue or a health deterrent, whatever the case. One of the things we advocate for as highly for our low-income student is to have the resource for such cases. Yeah. So financial aids offices know the type of need that students from low income need. Are there emergency funds set up for low income students, such that if there is a need for them maybe to go to an emergency medical situation, can they fund it for them? If they have to travel back home, can they do that for them? And I think some of these emergency aid situation really emerged during COVID time, when majority of students were stuck on campus and couldn't go back because the risk of going back and not coming back because of the whole airport closure was one of those situations, right? So for colleges, if you have to pay for your graduation fees, if you have to pay maybe for a lab equipment rentals, is there a fee waiver program set aside for such students? I know back in my college, back in the day, when I joined college, I didn't have a computer, but luckily our school had free laptop rentals where you could just go to the library and rent out a laptop. But I didn't know this until almost end of semester. No one had told me about this. So there's the need for international students office, admissions officers telling students from such backgrounds why or how or where to get these resources, such that they're able to access it and they're able to maximize their time during college, after college, and even post high school as well. Anybody want to add anything?
If I may say something here, I am still on the side of appreciation to all the universities that are supporting our high achieving low income students, because if you look at it, I understand the fact that like many of our students that study abroad and they have this aid that we are talking about, so that they are not even supposed to stay in the US or in Europe during summer. Back to your community, they always do great things. That is why, Sahara, we are really advocating that the universities can really increase whatsoever be the means of assisting our students, because they are really groundbreakers when they return back to the community. So much so that we can't even explain most of the things they do, because I have many students who have gone to study abroad. And for example, like one of my students in Hong Kong Baptist University, and you're present, thank you so much. When they come back, they do great work. They do actually great work. So please really do your best to really assist our kids, not only for them to remain up there during summer to work with you people, but to come back to your community to implement and do projects to make your university and your city proud.
Thank you so much for that. That's pretty much it for us, unless there is a queue and there's questions for us. But I just wanted to thank everyone for this opportunity, and I'm very grateful for what IC3 is doing out there, bringing all college access counselors, giving someone like us a chance to also present on our side as a highly access organization network.
Sahara, did you even talk about highly access as an organization or associations of organizations for low income? Did you talk about that?
No, not really.
Okay, because anyway, let's get a
Hello. Hello. Well, can you hear me? I'm from Hong Kong. Get this brilliant student from Emmanuel. Arsène, can you hear me? I'm actually here to meet you in person, but I'm still happy to see you online. So it's very interesting. I didn't know about this session, and I have submitted a proposal a few months ago for CIS EDULCOD on how to support highly students beyond scholarship.
Yeah.
And it's all because of this gentleman. Sahara, I'm dying to meet you because I want, but these two men have taught me so much in, on the journey. Is so much more than just giving them the money, because obviously we don't have money for everybody, but we can make the student feel that they are supported in so many different ways. I guess my question here is, and it's my real struggle, I don't have money for everybody. And when I look at, for example, Africa alone, should I be selective in distributing my resources? Because in distributing my information, because if I go around and invite everybody, knowing that not everybody can get it, then should I focus on one school in one country? No. Do you guys have any advice for me? Does it make any sense?
Sahara, you take that one? Oh, I go first.
So you go, please. Go ahead first.
Actually, thank you so much, Ma'am Sam. And the world is so big, and we can actually take everybody. So, and we can focus only on Africa, for example. We have children in Asia, in Sri Lanka, in India, that actually they want to develop their community. But what we are trying to advocate here is that if you've done for one student, just stretch and do for 3. Now, universities have the best way they can do to stretch your hand. They have many partners, many alumni, because I love the way the American university does the way the things they do, right? Now, they can set a form where alumni, they come back to like the support those people that they are still coming and they are in need. So universities can set up a system where the alumni, they are in great companies. They are doing great things. They can just decide that, okay, I'm from Africa, for example. I am doing well in life because I left Hong Kong Baptist University. I will sponsor one child each year. So if we can put that in our university, you discover that instead of taking 2 students, you might take 10. Because these universities with vast net of alumni, so we can get to our alumni, they set a fund that it can assist these younger ones coming in, that without your aid and without your support, their world will be in the dark. And thank God for the IC3 concert today, from darkness to what? To light. So we are advocating that the universities present here, you have the best way to get to your partners, to your alumni, for them to support these our high achieving low income students. Because like we can say Hong Kong Baptist University forever, something that means once you are a student from Hong Kong Baptist University, you are a student Baptist University for life. Once you are a student for St. Andrew University, you are a student or you are St. Andrew for life. So they can come up with funds and methods whereby that each alumni can sponsor 1 or 2 students a year. And with that, you discover that we can have as many low-income students coming in high achieving than ever before. Did I say something nice? Sahara.
Thank you so much. I think you answered the question. Arsène, did you have anything to add to it in terms of, maybe the direct question was, I have limited resources. How can she be selective when choosing students?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank the person who is asking the question. Thank you so much for willing also to help Hali students in the world. So we're part of an organization called the Hali Access Network, which is composed of different organizations working with high achieving low income students. And there is also a possibility for a university or any institution willing to offer financial aid or a scholarship to high achieving low income students to reach out to Hali Access Network, and then with this offer, and they will know what kind of student could be of best fit for this opportunity. So it depends upon where we want to bring or where we want to send that opportunity to. And we are here to advocate for these students that we are working for, our Hali student. And we are opening our hands and willing to get more opportunities for these students. So feel free to reach out to this great organization to learn more about how to better support high achieving low income students. And we believe that even one student being offered an opportunity is a big chance for a community to develop. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Arsène. And thank you, but what's the question? Answer to satisfaction. So you can always trust us that we can give you the best students. And like I said, please don't forget to stretch your hand a little bit further. It's been great so far, but we can do it greater. Thank you.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I run a non-profit, so you can understand that funds are always limited. So we do not have as many counselors as we may have, but the number of students who need to go to good universities and the kind of preparation they require is immense. Now, there are so many universities and not every university offers scholarship provisions. Is there a database which we can access to know that what are the universities or foreign colleges that provide scholarships or grant or support to the students?
Okay, Sahara, you go first. Sahara, can you take the question or we go ahead?
Sorry, could you rephrase the question for me?
That is there a database?
Is there a
Okay.
database or provision where we can find out the list of universities that offer grants or scholarships for students? Because there are so many universities and it's just very difficult for nonprofits to do that kind of research because anyways, we are short-staffed.
Yeah.
So, if there's a pool where we could just know, like, okay, if you want to go to this country or do this, science, whatever your stream is, if you could access to that.
Okay, to answer your question, we do, as part of Highly Access Network, we do have our own database, which we're happy to share with anyone. We did the research ourselves and created a database which shows which schools offer how much in funding, which is percentage-wise, if it's 100%, 80%, 90%. And also we have databases for different countries. So it could be the US, it could be Africa, which schools are funded by MasterCard Foundation, for instance, which one is need-based scholarship, which one is more of need-blind, merit-based. So we do have our database in Highly Access, which we're happy to share with anyone who is looking for such a database.
Okay, was your question answered, ma'am?
Great, thank you, yes.
So you can always get to us and we will do that.
So you guys are the answer to everything, really.
No, we are doing our best to meet the need of the community because we exist because of the community. We want to make our community better than the way we made it. So we're doing our possible best.
Hello. To add what Sahara said, okay, I just checked with ChatGPT to find scholarship available for different countries. There is quite a good number of courses are available. If we only thing is we need to squeeze it, ChatGPT, drill down it to specific country, and for the courses we could find a list of organizations and the various kind of scholarships are too available. So we have to literally need to work on micro level.
So we clap for that. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, yes, ma'am. The mic, if it's possible.
Hi. So I just wanted to ask, so you said that go out from your region and they are going out making, history, they're doing things.
Yeah.
So if you can share any example of a student who went out and came back and gave it to the community. So are the students going and coming back again and making a difference in the community?
Let me give one example. Sahara and Arsène can talk about that. I have, before I traveled on Saturday, that was a Sunday, there's one of our students that got into Harvard, Mohammed Mumi. This is a guy that had really suffered in the past and so much to get into Harvard. When he came back to Harvard, he has been doing a lot. He spent all of his summer at home teaching and mentoring other students and telling them how they can apply to this course. He is presently in Cameroon. That's Mohammed Mumi from Harvard. I was with him in Yaoundé because I taught in Yaoundé. I was with him as well in Douala, that's in the littoral region. So he's doing great. And that is not only all. Lena, my student from Hong Kong Baptist University, she came and she was doing the same community engagement with me in Baptism because I'm the outreach guy in Africa. I do a lot of outreaches. So when they come back, to be sincere, they do a lot of great things. Probably another one, Lekana Steve, is president in the US. When he came back at Ashesi University, he visited almost how many schools in the West and in the central region of Cameroon, telling the people that this thing is possible and carrying out his project. Is rather unfortunate. I never came with some of those things. There was no time to really display them, but they are doing a great job. They are doing a great job. I don't want to even go to the recent one that just came back from USIU, Kenya. They are doing great. And please, one of the last students that just came back from Ghana, she came back and she won a grant called EDULCOD. And what is her grant for? Establish a community-based library where people in her community, students, and study and read for free. And that is still under my surveillance in Cameroon, in Bafoussam to be precise. So they are doing a great thing. I don't know more about you, Sahara, in your country, in a sense. So over to you.
Thank you. I would like to say that one of the things that we are emphasizing when we counsel or guide our kids is that they have to come back and support their younger brothers and sisters. And before even they come back, we have a group, a mentorship group, where those Hadi students who have already accessed university studies or university scholarship are supporting the other younger students to apply. I mean, in the different processes related to the university applications. But I would like to give an example of one of our students who came back recently from India. He studied at Ashoka University, and he's helping us to organize different things in our organization. So we recently organized a STEM Academy where he was the main presenter. He did everything and supporting his younger brothers, introducing them to data science, ChatGPT, STEM domains. So this is an example of a student who is giving back to his community. And I would like also to thank India for training this kid for us, and who is back to help us in our community. Then he is currently here and also working with us, supporting the kids as far as the essays, writing essays is concerned, and also taking international tests. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think when Arsène mentioned Ashoka, I was happy because Zawadi also took one student this year to Ashoka University. So we're grateful for that. In terms of giving back, oh my God, we have had students give up in so many ways. I'll just mention one, which was like a big one for us recently. And it's one of the girls who graduated back in Augustana College in the US. She came back, she opened a school actually, but the difference in the school is that it was a tech-led school. So she provided laptops to students, like starting from nursery all the way to 8th grade. And she's partnered with many schools in Kenya to do that. So it's a tech-led school. She actually won CNN Hero of the Year last year because of that school or project she's doing. We have a student who came back and she was raised by a widow. So she decided to start a Widows Foundation and is currently doing amazing thing through, enabling and creating financial independence for such widows in the community who are raising kids by themselves. The list is many, but majority of our students come back and they do more amazing things than they would have done if they were back in Kenya.
Sarah, can I just say one thing more?
Yeah.
One of the things I want to say here is that the manner in which we even recruit students to work and mentor them, we get the high achievers, no doubt, but you cannot get every high achiever, true or false. So one of the ways is that they show us who they are through their essays, and we follow them and know what they want to do for their community. It's not enough to be intelligent, that you can agree with me. So they tell us who they are, what they want to do, and because of who they are and what they want to do for their community, we accept them into our community and work with them. In Open Dreams, where I work with, I volunteer with, our students have brought in the SAT books. And some of our students from Open Dreams, they are even supporting some students to give Duolingo waivers and the TOEFL waivers. That's they have studied abroad and they are coming back to the community to support the others. And that is why I had the chance to even tell the universities that you can tell your alumni that when you graduate and started working, don't forget that this school exists. If you went through the school and the school went through you as well, you will come and lay a block for the building of the wall. Someone laid the foundation, so you have to build the walls by picking up one child that was not able to go ahead. So the list we cannot even exhaust it here, but the kids that you guys are assisting to give them the scholarship, they are doing a lot more in our communities. Thank you. Our email. Okay, it's okay. We will give that. I'll give mine. And Sarah, what about you and the others? So
yeah. It's fine. I'll give mine as well. We'll share with you, and then you can share it with them.
yes, we'll share our email with you, so you can always reach to us.
Okay, this is to our Sarah, ma'am. Going through your presentation, it's really wonderful. But what I felt today is how beautiful, a lot of problems is going to solve easily, and we are trying to make it sustainable by just knowing the value and respecting all these, diversity, all the inclusion everywhere. But I didn't see this part, because as we are talking about the topic of just now focusing on our low-income parents and students, I think this should be added, because not this world is diverse within our country, within our region. Again, there comes this term. So this is my one more point where I want to add. Thank you.
Did you get us, Sahara? Okay.
So thank you so much. Yeah, and I totally agree with you.
Okay, please, any other question? We should make it can I see some of the universities that are here, please? Can I see them? Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. We exist because you people are there. We exist because you are there. We can't stop thanking you enough. You are doing an incredible work for us. Thank you so much. Yes, Sahara? Any question, please? We are here to get your questions. And if a university can just say something about how they can also be of importance with the people present here, they want to hear you. They might have met you. This is early access. So say a little bit more of how we can get to know you better and do best with our students.
Hi, my name is Sujit. I work for Loyola Chicago. So somebody mentioned, I believe it was you mentioned ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great resource. I think a lot of times we are so afraid of using AI because we think it's only negative consequences. But just after you mentioned that, I went on ChatGPT and put in what resources are available for first generation low income students in Africa and then also for South Asia.
Yeah.
And I've already got, like 13 different resources that I can share with students. I don't know why I never thought of doing that before. So the main thing that I really just want to mention is, again, use the resources and technology that we have available to really understand more about organizations and resources. The more we do research on that and work with organizations, that's the only way for us to really provide resources for students that are coming from low-income backgrounds.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Please, can we give you a hand of applause for that? Okay, any other person, please? Do you have something to say?
No, I just wanted to actually thank the person who spoke from Chicago, and we're happy to always receive more information and resources available out there at the Highly Access Network.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm a college counselor. I work with students from privileged backgrounds as well as students from low income backgrounds. Now, this is in a residential school, so they're away from our low income students, or students from humble backgrounds are away from their families. Conversations are very different with privileged students versus those who don't have means. How can I, as a counselor, be sensitive to better understand my students who are coming from an underprivileged background or from a low-income background? What questions can I ask? How can I ensure I'm best supporting them?
Sarah, you take that?
Sure, I can start off.
Okay.
So maybe one of the questions, or maybe one of the questions you can ask the student is if they have any family or relative close by to help them in case of any need. I think that's a starting point. And then also understanding what exactly is it that they're looking for in terms of campus housing. What are their plans? Are they able to afford? And you can ask directly. I feel there's nothing wrong with asking directly. Are they able to afford campus housing during days when campus are closed, right? Are there any challenges with food? Reaching out directly to low-income students is the best way, because that's the only way that's the major way you can get information from them. I don't know if Arsène, if you want to add anything.
No, I think you said it all. The best way of doing that is to chat directly with them. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, our student trusts us so much. Okay, thank you. Our student trusts us so much as counselors. So if you really, you make them understand that you are not getting the information, to share with other people, they can be in a better place to tell you who they are, their genuine financial situation in your family, and at time what they go through. And this case is where I want to say there's one of our students studying in India that high university, so Sarabara, there are many of them. So her father, before he passed out, had to sponsor about 5 students write SAT when she was in Open Dream 5, including herself. So her father sponsored 5 students. So this is a child that the parent had the money, and she's coming in for Open Dreams to assist her get opportunities out of the country. And when she's at Open Dreams, she discovered that there are students that are far below her financial situation. So she goes to the father and said that we want to take SAT, and I've discovered a lot of my classmates here that are good and SAT to apply to good schools that are giving better funding. They don't have the money. And the dad say, how many of them are there? She said, okay, they are these, and the father pays 4 plus herself 5. So you discover that it is just for you to understand your students, and you make them understand that they are present in this situation or in this institution is not for themselves, is for the community, and they can be of great help. Students, they are best placed to tell your parents that, Daddy, you have the money, assist my friend. And this one will say, okay, I don't have, so they come in, they benefit from those who are of the privileged background. But you talk with them and be sincere with them. Kids, they have a mindset that when they get you and they trust you, they can tell you anything and they can be everything. Thank you.
I think you've said it wonderfully, Emmanuel. Wonderful.
Thank you. So any other question, please? And okay, if you don't have a question before our time runs out, Sahara, I want to find, I thought I would get a question from the people that, how can I become, if you've heard about early access and you like it, how can I become a member of early access? Am I right? If you have loved the presentation, yes. I thought you would ask a question that, is it open for everybody, anybody? How do I become a member of early access? Am I right, Sahara?
You're very right. I think there are, so anybody who's interested can apply to be in Hali. There are requirements, but you can find all the information on our website, the Hali Access Network. Yeah.
Hali, H-A-L-I. Hali, High Achieving Low Income. Hali Network. Thank you so much. Any other thing? If there is no question, Sahara, over to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Please, one more question.
Oh.
After they have graduated from the good universities of the world, are they 100% coming back and serving the community?
In my case, I would say I have not seen as 90% and above. To be honest, not all of them will come back. You can, human being is complex.
So they are part of, are they just
Most and majority. I don't know, Sahara, can you equally answer to that?
I could barely hear the question. Was she asking if all of our students come back?
Yes.
So not all of them,
Not all.
and not all of them. So we give them the leeway of, if you want to come back, we advise you to come back and serve your community. But for some people, it's hard for them to come back, but there's nothing back for them per se. So even if they do decide to stay abroad, they help while they're still there. Because, there's some people, and I can give a specific example. There's someone I went to college with, and she was an orphan. So when I decided to come back, she was like, if I go back, then I'll have to start afresh, from scratch. So she opted to stay and give in her own way back to the country.
Thank you so much,
Arsène?
Sahara. But the truth is that, okay, so Arsène, please go ahead.
No, I think you said it all.
Okay, I want to say that they really, really do assist in their communities. I have not seen two that have not done something in their communities. In the case of our students that we've sent out, some of them send laptops to their schools, their alma mater. Some of them come back and they give books. Some of them they have started associations in their community to help one or two in other ways. Thank you so much. Sahara, over to you.
So I believe we've covered everything, and if there's no more questions, I just want to give my sincere gratitude for IC3 for this amazing conference and the ability to present and discuss with everyone who was there. Very grateful, and I hope we have given you some knowledge, and we have received some questions and knowledge as well from you. And we hope to interact in the future. So we'll leave Emmanuel with our contacts to share with anybody who is interested. And that's pretty much it from me. Sincerely grateful, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Sahara. Thank you so much, Arsène.